What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Focus TV. Got Octavia Wyatt here, Cardell Dudley Jr. We got Raymond Lyons and I'm Wilson Tarpey Jr. All right, we got a lot to discuss tonight. We're debuting a very, very new series. Shout out to Cardell and Rico for kind of putting this into one, just thinking about it, speaking it, and then like I said, tonight we're going to debut it. Last week, NFL draft happened virtually, of course, because outside is still closed. So that was fun. For the most part, a lot of teams had good drafts, right? I think for the most part, everybody here enjoyed their team's draft. Raymond, I know you're being a pessimist about it, but we're going to let Octavia get into that. So Octavia, we're going to start things off tonight. The floor is yours. Despite outside being closed, NFL drafts, we got an NFC East segment. Just share your thoughts on this year's, how y'all division did.
Well, I would say I actually liked the draft. I liked the virtual way it was done and everything. I thought it was pretty cool. But I was kind of sad because they were supposed to have the draft at the Raiders' new facility, and their facility looks amazing. So shout out to them for already saying that they're going to have the draft there next year, since they weren't able to have it there. Itself, overall, outside of just the NFC East, was very entertaining. There were a lot of players that fell further than many people thought they would. There were some people that got drafted earlier than they thought they would. So it's always entertaining with the draft. You really never know. No matter how many mock drafts you look at, you go over, you can never really know what a team is looking for. And especially with everything that's gone on and them saying how much some people, they didn't even have tape on. I believe there was one person that got drafted where there was absolutely no tape on him. But apparently he was Patriots ended up getting them. I can't remember for sure. But it was somebody that they had been watching locally for a long time. So that's the reason why they were able to track him. But neither one are there. Just to kind of go through each team, I'll start with the Giants. The Giants had 10 picks this draft. On their first round draft pick for number 4, they got Andrew Thomas, offensive line from Georgia. They got Xavier McKinney in the second round, safety from Alabama, Matt Peart, offensive tackle from Connecticut. They got Shane Lemieux, guard from Oregon, Darnay Holmes, cornerback from UCLA, Cameron Brown's the linebacker from Penn State, Cutter Coughlin, linebacker Minnesota, TJ Brunson, inside linebacker South Carolina, Chris Williamson, cornerback from Minnesota, and Tate Crowder, linebacker from Georgia. So they had a lot of draft picks, 10 to be exact. But I think the one that everybody talks about the most with this particular team is going to be their fourth round pick in Andrew Thomas. There was a big 4 that they were talking about for majority of this draft process, and he was number 4. So a lot of people were surprised that was the actual tackle that they went for. But one thing that I looked up and was able to figure out is that one thing that it looks like that the Giants were really looking forward to and paying attention to is who these players are playing against. Him playing in what they consider the best, arguably everybody has their own opinion, but arguably the best conference in college football in the SEC. He's played against everybody. He's a sturdy person. He's always there. He may not be as flashy as the other ones were, but he's played against the best day in, day out, always there. And I think that's something big for the Giants because they've had a lot of injuries. They haven't had a lot of people that's going to protect the quarterback. So that was, if they feel like that was a great pick for them, I think that went well. The one that I liked that they got was Xavier McKinney, the 36th pick, Alabama safety, great ability to read plays, and especially with them losing Janoris Jenkins last year with whatever issue happened there, it was probably a good idea for them to try to pick somebody up that can come right in and produce right off the bat since they let him go. But all in all, there was a good draft pick. They got a lot of defense, which I feel like is probably really well what they really need outside of the offensive line for them. So to me, the Giants had a decent draft. If I was a Giants fan, I wouldn't be upset. I don't feel like they rocked the boat too much on any type of picks that people weren't really expecting. I think they did pretty well. I listened to the Cowboys.
Raymond's team. We gotta mention that every time.
I'm sorry, we have to say that now. Raymond's team. We have to make sure that we say that now. So Dallas Cowboys, they had 7 picks. Round 1, pick 17, CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver, Oklahoma. They got Stephon Diggs' little brother, Trayvon Diggs, a cornerback from Alabama in round 2. In round 3, they got Neville Gallimore, defensive tackle for Oklahoma. Round 4, Reggie Robinson, the second cornerback from Tulsa. Round 5, Tyler Biazis, probably butchered your name, I'm sorry, center from Wisconsin. And they got Bradley Anai, defensive end from Utah, and then Ben DiNucci, a quarterback from James Madison. Y'all know how much this is going to hurt me to say because I don't really like anybody else in the NFC East. It's going to hurt me bad.
Go ahead and say it.
I'm so annoyed with them. Just because we just needed like 4 more picks. That's all. Just let it go 4 more picks. But although everybody is saying that, of course, the Cowboys didn't necessarily need a wide receiver, you can't pass up CeeDee Lamb. One thing that I listened to during the draft was how much they said, like, as much as you're playing for your own team, you're really trying to also keep players away from other teams, So it was a good idea for them to go ahead and take a wide receiver of that caliber. That's wide receiver that a lot of people are saying was in the draft period, right before the team that needs a wide receiver. That's in your division. Thanks a lot, guys. But yeah, a lot of people didn't think he would be available at that time. But as we say every time I talk about drafts, you never know what can happen. But CeeDee Lamb, he don't really need much work. You just need to really watch the tape. He's a great wide receiver. He's going to do a lot for them. A lot of people are saying, like, well, they have Amari Cooper, Mark as well last year. How many wide receivers do they need? But traditionally, the Cowboys usually use a 3 wide receiver set anyway. So last year it was Randall Cobb. That was the 3rd. Randall Cobb played himself into a better situation as far as where he came from. So he's no longer there. So it's natural that they would be looking for that 3rd wide receiver. And going it if it ain't CeeDee Lamb, I don't know who else it would be. Also, no secret, Cowboys needed to get a new cornerback after they lost Byron Jones. So Trayvon Diggs, cornerback, like I said, Stephon Diggs' little brother, who went from being in the Vikings, who is now with the Bills. Physicality, confidence. He's very athletic. He's like his brother. He doesn't have he doesn't have an issue with like being physical or anything. So everything with him should be good. So I think that was a great pickup for them as well. All in all, I think that the Cowboys had a really good draft as well. Again, they're really good on paper, like they were last year. So I think the only thing that they have to just do this year for them, not for me, but for them, is to translate it into wins and playoff pictures and things, but our resident Cowboy fan said nothing's going to happen. so Jerry is out of there, but, that has nothing to do with me. But like I said, all in all, they had a really good draft. Going to your Washington Redskins, who didn't fumble the bag this year. The Washington Redskins had 8 picks in this draft. They had the number 2 pick overall, and they selected Chase Young, edge rusher from Ohio State. In the 3rd round, they got Antonio Gibson, a wide receiver from Memphis. In the 4th round, they got Sadiq Charles, offensive tackle from LSU. In round 4, they got Antonio Gandy Golden, another wide receiver from Liberty. Round 5, Keith Ishmael, a center from San Diego State. Also in round 5, Kalike Hudson, linebacker from Michigan. And in the round 7, they got Carmen Pearl, safety for Arkansas, and James Smith-Williams, edge rush from NC. If they would have passed on Chase Young, that's all that's literally all I saw up and down my timeline before the drive started. The Redskins don't pick Chase Young. But a lot of things that I read and heard about, going on with the draft was a lot of the Redskins didn't overthink the pick. A lot of people were saying that. I'm pretty sure they got some interest for some people trying to trade up to the position. They're thinking like maybe we could pass on him. Maybe we need something else. Don't overthink it. Take the best player that's there. And he's definitely that. I'm a little annoyed again because I don't need my quarterback to be running from him all day long. So, but you can't. I'm saying so. Like he's just like they say, he's like a generational player. Like he's a player that you don't skip. You just can't skip him. Also, the Redskins needed, of course, some wide receivers or some offensive weapons. So they went ahead and got the wideout Antonio Gibson from Memphis. He's a dual threat receiver, extremely versatile, able to line up in different positions all over the field. So, that's a huge asset for them, especially with everything that I can already tell that Ron Rivera has his hands in a lot of things going on in Washington because they're already moving differently. And it happened real fast. So, I feel like no other coach has come in like this and it affected this much change this quickly, at least in recent years. Because I feel like a lot of them has been, if you want to say people pleasers or people that are just going to do what's matter once. I feel like Ron Rivera's like, no, this is what's going to work. Like, we need to do this and we need to do this. And maybe Dan Snyder is finally taking, into consideration what he's saying. It automatically shows. I would be remiss if I did not mention that also during the draft there was a trade. Of course, Trent Williams was a holdout all year for the Redskins, citing numerous issues with the franchise. They were able to deal him away to the other coast. Wilson's San Francisco 49ers. I don't like them either, but
excuse me, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
NFC East champion, San Francisco 49ers.
NFC East champion?
Yeah. NFC. Period.
There's a lot of hate right there.
You know what I meant.
I thought he said NFC East champion. I was like,
depending on look, depending on how that schedule goes next year.
We're gonna see y'all. It's cool. All right.
I wonder which quarterback we're gonna see.
Hey, we'll talk about that in a minute. So as soon as that happens, Nate might be out of a job. Let's stop. Anyway, so
the hate is real. Hey.
Can't let my man Nate compete for a job.
No, I haven't even gotten there yet, guys. Wait. So as soon as that news broke, it was, Lynch went ahead and got Sadiq Charles. I'm sorry, Lynch, excuse me. They went ahead and got Sadiq Charles for the Redskins as a replacement, possibly. So I feel like the Redskins also had a really good draft. I feel like they got some defensive players and some things that they're going to need. I think that, like I said, Ron Rivera really has his hands in a lot of things that's going on there, which is why they're automatically moving different. Last but never least,
Week 6.
I'm sorry. Last but not least, my Philadelphia Eagles, your NFC East champions. Let me say that right quick. Since you was talking about we won last year, it's okay. So
I'm sorry, I meant the entire NFC, but that's fine. You can have that.
Anyways, let's see. We had 10 picks. 21st pick, Jalen Rager, wide receiver out of TCU. 53rd pick, Jalen Hurts, quarterback out of Oklahoma. Round 3, Davion Taylor, outside linebacker from Colorado. Round 4, Kamon Wallace, safety from Clemson. Jack Driscoll, offensive tackle from Auburn. John Hightower, wide receiver from Boise State. Sean Bradley, linebacker from Temple. Wes Watkins, wide receiver from Southern Miss. Prince Tiga Wanagorwa. I'll learn how to pronounce his name later. Offensive tackle from Auburn, and then Casey Tuhill, outside linebacker from Stanford. So, of course, everybody knows the situation is first two picks were who knows what's going on. So I will say draft day one, I was like, whoa, what's going on? But the more I researched it, for me personally, just being a fan, the more I researched it, I'm not too upset at it. But at the same time, I feel a repeat of last year of us picking somebody and we should have picked somebody else, and then that person was JJ Arcega-Whiteside. But you can tell that the theme for us this year is speed and getting Carson a lot of weapons, because as you see, we had none at wide receiver last year at all. Once Deshaun Jackson went out, and then followed behind Alshon Jeffrey. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is height and weight of some of these players. We got a lot of smaller wide receivers because they're faster. You know, we have a lot of wide receivers with 4.1 speed, 4.3 speed in Rager, and Hightower. Now, Hightower I'm cool with because he's a little bit bigger, but he's still fast. But I like the Kavon Wallace at that pick. I'm surprised he was there at that time. We definitely need another safety, because I'm still a little bit iffy with can't even remember his name at this point, because he barely played last year. Guy with the green hair, him. I can't think of it right now. I'm sorry. He's injury prone too, but he re-signed and is supposed to be moving to the safety position from cornerback. So I want to see how that goes. So I'm glad that they did still get another safety. We still got Nicole Roby, and we also did get Darius Slay in the offseason. So I'm very, very happy with that production. So I'm just looking forward to see how how this draft class is going to fit in with everything going on, especially on the offensive line. With, who knows how much longer Jason Kelsey is going to stay. He's still there. Also, we have a lot of vets that are possibly leaving soon, especially Jason Peters with his health. But he's a free agent as of now. I don't know if he signed anywhere else yet, so that's still up in the air. All in all, I was okay with the draft, as I am pretty much every year, because I just need to see it when it happens on the field. I need to see what they're going to do. I trust the brains that we have, especially with Doug Peterson. And I think Howie Roseman is a great GM. So I think there's a method to their madness. We might not see it now. So all in all, I was okay with it. But the draft itself was great. Like I said, there were a lot of people who I feel like went to good places. So I think it was a good draft. Did you guys like your team's drafts?
I was satisfied.
I bet you were. Cardell, y'all had a really good draft too.
I did. I know we did.
Yeah, y'all had a really good draft too.
I know we did. Y'all had a great draft too. I don't understand the quarterback being drafted.
Oh yeah,
y'all got on y'all knees.
I did completely.
Stay healthy for once.
Well, I mean, at the same time, I don't really get to pick myself either, But Howie Rose was talking about he wanted to be a quarterback factory. When has Philadelphia ever been a quarterback factory? I don't know. Maybe that's something they're trying to start now, but I definitely do think it's for security.
There's been a lot of quarterbacks that got the opportunity.
Yeah, but I still think that, like everybody says, and everybody's going to laugh at, it's definitely quarterback insurance. Yes, we know Carson Wentz has not stayed healthy through any season. We know this. And you could tell from last year, after we let Foles go, we didn't have a great backup. Even though I know you guys love Nate, and this is not the bash on Nate. I know Nate's you guys' favorite player and all, but he was hurt last year. I think he broke his wrist with his arm somewhat.
Exactly.
Had to go back and get Josh McGowan. It was a lot. So I definitely think this was more so security. They've already signed Carson throughout Hurts's rookie deal anyway. So Carson's going to be there till 2024. Hurts rookie deal with him before that. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not opposed to anything. Whoever's the best person to go out there and play and win me a game, put him out there. I love Carson. But I'm not oblivious to the fact that he can't stay healthy. I want him to stay healthy. I think when he is healthy, he's a great player. He has great knowledge. He has a great eye. He's able to read the defenses. As long as he has weapons around him and people to protect him, I feel like he'll be golden. Like, he'll be our franchise. He is our franchise as of now. Like, there's no denying that. But if anything were to go south, I'm glad that we now at least have some type of backup. Now, I wouldn't have mind if we didn't get hurt and maybe try to go for more of a vet quarterback that's still out there. Although Jameis did just get signed today to the Saints, Cam still doesn't have a home, and the Pats didn't even draft a quarterback. So who knows what's going on there? But all in all, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. The other thing I would like, just for Philadelphia fans, and this is the kindness I'm going to be to you guys for like the next 5 years. Jalen Reagor's a dog. There was a lot of wide receivers in this draft where their production, I know everyone loves numbers. Sometimes you just got to go watch their production. Like if you play with a trash quarterback or a very inexperienced quarterback or in a system that's horrible, your production suffers. I would venture for any of you that don't like Jalen Reagor, Google some of his clips from 2018.
I did that already.
Okuda, who went to the Lions, Reagor gave him and his boy on the other side work. I also like him because even as a small dude, he's willing to go up and fight for the ball, which some big receivers aren't about that life. And like with the Jalen thing is, I just feel like, yeah, we make jokes about Carson, being made of paper or whatnot, but why have like a backups where in case everything goes south, then it's like, well, we got to scale back the playbook and then we got to be cautious and all this other stuff where Jalen brings his a whole another dimension of problems to a defense. You can stay as competitive as possible. And I love what you said, Octavia, where, eventually we get to this point where someone's going to be here and somebody's not. Worst case scenario, you do what the Patriots did with Jimmy, where he's there. Someone's always going to need a quarterback, and you flip them for as much as you can get them. So that's just one of those things. But we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to debut the Rundown series. You're watching the Focus TV. Welcome back to the Focus TV. We got everybody back, and again, man, we're gonna go ahead and enjoy this this rundown series. Cardell, if you want, just talk a little bit about it, and then we'll hand it off to Octavia to let her go first.
Okay, well, so obviously with the quarantine situation, there's no sports going around, no fresh stuff for us to really cover. So what we're gonna do is go back and look at memorable games, memorable performances, and do an in-depth breakdown of what we're seeing. And it's not going to just be basketball. We're going to move around all different sports throughout every week. And I just think this is a good idea to kind of take the fans more so behind the curtain. Because we have credentials. Everybody has played sports. We have credentials, so we kind of behind the curtain and understanding what's really going on, why things are the way they are, when things are going down. And sometimes that's not always elaborated, with the national outlets or whatnot. They have to kind of portray a narrative of what they want to see and what's up. So we do it with authentic, objective breakdown and try to educate more so than just commentating in a sense.
All right, I can start if you want. All right, cool. So just to go ahead and kick it off, tonight we are talking about the NBA Finals Game 7 in 2016 with the Cavs versus the Warriors. So for me, there were plenty of great parts of this game, and there were plenty of great twists and turns and momentum shifts. To me, the most important play was the Kyrie 3 in Steph's face. Now, this is not to say that a lot of people say that was like his most important part. Kyrie's handprint was all over this game from the beginning. To me, this was just one of the best parts of the game. So basically, with 1 minute and 9 seconds left on the clock, there was a timeout. One thing that I thought about too was that everybody probably thought that the ball was going to be in LeBron's hands. But the fact that they not switched it up, but people think that, and people expect for LeBron to get the last shot or the most important shot in the game. I think it was clutch for them to give it to Kyrie because he had been playing like he's been playing out his mind the whole game. Basically, LeBron inbounding the ball. They did put in they took out Tristan Thomas, so Kevin Love and Richard Jefferson were in the game. Spread the floor, give Kyrie the ball at his favorite place, top of the key, right side. And with an amazing defensive player that Steph is, he was there for every step. But the inside out, the subtle step back, just the ease and the confidence of the shot just shows you that Kyrie practices that probably every single day. He had there was nothing that was stopping him. He wasn't scared. You could see, he knows, I'm going to make this shot. Steph was literally probably this close, like that, to his face. And that just shows you the type of player that Kyrie is. This started the whole thing of, I want the ball in my hands. I want to make sure that I'm the leader on the team, because as we all know, when Kyrie first went to Cleveland, there was no LeBron in Cleveland. It was that he inherited LeBron coming back from Miami. So to me, this started this kind of thing that Kyrie's in right now. We know even with the NBA season being suspended as of now, Kyrie he had season-ending surgery before they called everything off anyway. So he wasn't really in the same space as I felt like he was back in this 2016 game. But I fully expect for it to come back next season if the NBA is a complete loss this year, especially when KD comes back. So KD and Kyrie together is just going to be ridiculous. But all in all, I really feel like that was the dagger that just sealed the game. It doesn't get too much better than that, although I'm sure you guys have other plays that are equally important.
All right. Ray, the floor is yours, sir.
All right. Just thinking back on it, this was just a weird series, altogether. Just when I was refreshing myself, I forgot that Game 7 was the only close game. All the other 6 games were blowouts. So that was just kind of a weird thing. Like yeah, the series went 7 games, but up until that point, it wasn't competitive. Like so, that was kind of strange. And a lot of things led up to us even getting to a 7th game, which a big topic of discussion through the whole series was Draymond's suspension. And just kind of thinking back on that situation, it was kind of fishy to say the least. I mean, him and LeBron had the little scuffle in the game. You know, LeBron tries to step over him. Like I don't even know if you can consider him swinging at LeBron's groin looked like he's just trying to get up and dude is stepping over him. But ultimately, it led to Draymond getting suspension, which I don't think I've ever seen anything like that where the league goes back and reviews the play and assesses him a flagrant, and then he's suspended for the following game. I mean, that was just like Golden State was up 3-1. All signs leaded to them closing it out. Like I said before, no game was competitive. Even the one Cleveland had won, they like smacked them. But yeah, that if that'll show you anything, it'll show you that momentum is real. Because when Draymond missed that game 5, Cleveland came out. Both Kyrie and LeBron had 40 plus that game, and Cleveland never looked back. But just getting into Game 7, I think thinking back on it, I look at that third quarter because Golden State had ended. They ended the first half. Looked like they were ready to take control of the game. They ended on an 11-4 run to the 7-point lead in halftime. And Golden State was notorious for those big third quarters where they would just put teams to sleep. But, Cleveland was there for it. They were a game. They won the quarter 33-27. They were still down by 1 going into the 4th. But, I feel like they really held them off from kind of blowing that game open. And, with Octavia talking about Kyrie's contribution, he went on a personal 10-0 run in that quarter, in the time where the game was kind of back and forth. And he really just, took it upon himself to kind of step up and kind of push Cleveland ahead, give him some breathing room, and to make it a game going into the 4th. Because everybody knows what those onslaughts look like going, especially during that 73-9 season from Golden State. But that was a big thing for them psychologically, just to be able to hang with them like that, especially since none of the other games have been competitive. And of course, with the big thing about the game was Kyrie hitting the shot, but his contributions during that series, I feel like were minimized, just because of the magnitude of that play. But when you think about it as a whole, I mean, we talk about guys all the time and being young and inexperienced. Kyrie was 23 at this time, and that's his first time in the finals. That was the first time in the playoffs, period. And for him, the year before, but that was the first finals. And for him to step up like that, he averaged 27 throughout the series. And just for him to step into that role, not be afraid of the moment, just take on that responsibility and rise up and hit that shot against, the team that just broke in the record for most wins in the season. And that just kind of goes and takes you into his mind and tells you what the type of player he is. So, it was. I was glad we got a good game in Game 7. Of course, LeBron made the big defense play before that, chasing down Iggy, and that's just what it was. I mean, they finally got one in Cleveland. But the main takeaway for me is just how Kyrie's play was, basically not talked about, because like I said, especially in that third quarter, like what people don't understand is when they talk about being clutch, they automatically think of buzzer beaters. But there are clutch plays and clutch situations that happen throughout the game. Like when you need to get a defensive stop at a certain point, when your team just can't throw a rock in the ocean and somebody steps up and gets some baskets for you. Like those are times during the game that keep you in the game. And then sometimes there are back-breaking plays in the game that just kills the other team's momentum and their spirit. So, the shot was huge. Like, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Go up for a lead in Game 7 in the finals. I mean, what more would you want? But I think when you talk about big time plays, it's cool to look throughout the whole course of the game instead of just the last few minutes.
All right.
Well, for me,
sorry, Cardell, but
it's on the pass, and which is why the ball. Hello?
Yeah, sorry, we got you. We got you. You good? Go ahead.
All right.
Sorry about
that.
Yeah,
with LeBron, I'm just focusing on his all around impact. He didn't have the best shooting game, which is why the ball was in Kyrie's hand at the end of the game. He shot 37% during the game, but he had a big fourth quarter. He finished strong, which was something that he was criticized for throughout his career, for not kind of being a finisher. Kyrie hit the dagger. LeBron had a big fourth quarter. I think he scored where Kyrie kind of went off in the third. It's all about LeBron, not Kyrie. LeBron made some mental lapses, obviously, on defense throughout the game, but as you saw, as the game got tighter in the second half, he cleaned all those things up, and he made some great defensive stops, and not just the block, which I'm going to get to, but I'm just talking about switching off and cutting people off, stopping the Warriors when they try to cause mismatches, and that's what really saved the game. It's funny how we always say defense wins championships, but that was the case. They slowed down the Warriors. They couldn't really get off. In clip one, LeBron, he looked to drive, but Steph Curry hedged out on him with a great angle, using the sideline as an extra defender, which forced LeBron to pick up his dribble. LeBron passed to JR, who quickly passed it back to LeBron, seeing LeBron has a lot of space to shoot and drive. Steph nearly steals the ball, but he mishandled, and the ball falls right to LeBron, who drives and dunks on Klay Thompson. In clip two, Draymond has pushed the ball up the floor. LeBron gets back to meet Draymond in the paint. This is what I mean by him having a high IQ playing chess. Bron knows he has Iguodala running the sideline behind him, and also knows Draymond's a pass-first guy in these situations. So Bron based Draymond to thinking, he would stay home and kind of brace himself for a charge to try to test him. Dre took the bait, tried to pass it to Iguodala, and Bron jumped the passing lane, stole the ball. Mo Williams leaked out. LeBron got on the ball, and it was the easy lane. I know most people would say, like, why didn't Draymond try to lob it to Iguodala? But Iguodala, was playing the series. He was hurt. He was playing the series with a bad back, so he couldn't really elevate like that. But it was just a smart. It was a smart thing to kind of bait Draymond eternal. Because as they were, you can't give them any easy type of answers. And also, it could have been a potential 50-50 play where LeBron picks up the cheap foul, which obviously works in the Warriors' favor. Clip three, Bron has the ball on the left wing being defended by Klay Thompson. Bron dribbles behind his back and drives it to the paint. 4 Warrior defenders sucked in to try to stop him. Like I said, 4. Draymond, who is defending, have a love block, left him paint to make lose. Sean Livingston did the right thing by dropping from Iman's front layup, which left Iman Shumpert as the only one open. And Shumpert knocked down a 3, which was a great defensive strategy by the Warriors that worked. They had Kevin Love, they had Kyrie, they had LeBron, and they had J.R. Smith on the floor. So out of all 5 of those players with Iman Shumpert, who would you want to take the shot? Iman Shumpert, who shoots 26% from 3 during the series. It's just that he happened to make this shot. And while he knocked down this shot, he got fouled by Sean Livingston. This is the little details that you saw as the game unfolded. The Warriors being a chance kind of lost composure. They were making silly mistakes, whereas the Cavs were cleaning them up as the game was going on. The Warriors started making more and more because they couldn't shake the Cavs, pressure. Even though they were at home, you would think that they would know better, but that's what happens sometimes. And I'm gonna break it down as we keep going. In clip 4, Steph is off to the races. And this is what I mean by a mistake. You got to know LeBron is somewhere lurking, trying to run you down and beat your shot into the Saints. He shields Shumpert on the drive, so Shumpert will have to slow up, and then he couldn't recover. LeBron sees that Kyrie's a lone man back, so he hustles back and blocks Curry's shot out of bounds, which is great defensive play. You gotta know he's lurking. You know, in that situation where you potentially got an easy basket, either go up to try to dunk, or you might have to just fake it, take the contact, or dribble that joint back out. You see what I'm saying? Because now that's the stop. Now they have a set defense trying to make it harder. It's little things like that that added to the result later on in the game. In clip 5, this was an example of bad defense from the Cavs. Iguodala is being defended by Kyrie on the block. Bron, who's defending Draymond, doesn't see man and ball the entire time. Draymond jumps to the top of the key while Varejao screens LeBron. Kevin Love, who's defending Anderson Varejao, does a good job of opening up so Bron can possibly fight around a Varejao screen. What Love didn't do a good enough job is letting Bron know a screen is coming. So Iguodala passes to Draymond with Love not switching out and Bron being held up by a Varejao screen. Draymond knocks down the triple, who had a great game. And, he benefited a lot from the mismatches. Communication is key on defense. We all know that. I mean, if you don't talk, it's hard to defend. It's hard to get stopped. So, this is just another example of that. Clip 6, Iguodala is in a high post with Richard Jefferson defending him. The play is for Steph Curry. Bron is defending Curry, and he gives chase and runs into another Draymond screen who is trying to flare up top of the key. While Bron is trying to keep up with Curry, he not only runs into Draymond, he runs into Shumpert as well. So Barbosa was ready to set a back screen on Shumpert blindside as well, just in case Curry got loose and was still free. This was more on Bron for this defensive breakdown. Curry was struggling from the field at the time, and Draymond was hot. He was hitting everything. And he switched on Draymond and allowed Shumpert to pick up Curry. They still give themselves a chance at stopping him. This simple lapse of judgment can kill you, especially when it comes to a league team like the Warriors, and it results in another Draymond triple. That's how he got loose. In clip 7, Bron is on Draymond now. Iggy has the ball being pressured by Richard Jefferson. Curry sets a screen on LeBron, and Draymond runs to set a screen on Kyrie. Barbosa flashes to the top of the key, and Curry cuts to the basket. J.R. Smith smartly sees Curry cutting and switches to him. Draymond pops out, and Barbosa, as Curry runs out of the paint, cuts to the basket with Kyrie giving chase. LeBron sees Kyrie a step behind Barbosa. He runs and blocks Barbosa's shot off the glass. Great adjustment and a play to save a basket. These are the type of plays where I said as the game went along, Cavs were getting big stops, which frustrated the Warriors, which isn't talked about enough. Their defense and how that contributed to them winning that game 7 on the road, especially. In clip 8, Bron is being defended by Curry, obviously a mismatch. So he takes his time and goes into the post and starts backing Curry down. Festus and Zealy immediately comes to double. While all of this is happening, Kyrie goes and sets a back screen on Draymond, who's defending J.R. Smith. Bron passes to Smith. Klay Thompson switches out on Smith. Smith instinctively drives left to get space. Thompson slips, and Smith knocks down the three-pointer. That shot, LeBron could have forced the shot on Steph, obviously, but he was patient. He wanted to keep his guys in the flow of the game. He knew he was going to have his time to get aggressive, so he wanted to keep those guys locked in and focused and have them be threats. This is what made LeBron great. He found J.R. Smith, and J.R. Smith, who's kind of quiet up to that point, now hits a three. Now he's getting warm, and he started. So now the Warriors got to worry about him instead of just worrying about Kyrie and LeBron. In clip 9, this is in the fourth quarter. It's go time. Tristan Thompson screens Draymond Green, who was harassing LeBron, which forces Festus and Zealy to switch out on LeBron. We all know that's a total mismatch. LeBron hesitates to knock down a big three-pointer over Zealy, giving the Cavs an 89-87 lead with 4:53 left. Just a big-time player exploiting a mismatch and making a big-time shot. And then the final clip 10, one of LeBron's most memorable plays, and a play that to me, said the Cavs will be champs after this game. It was a fast break situation with Iguodala pushing the ball. He passes to Curry. Curry quickly passes it back. As Iguodala attacks the basket, this isn't talked about enough. J.R. Smith does a good job of challenging Iguodala. If he didn't challenge Iguodala, even though Iguodala had a bad back and he ain't elevated like he's capable of, I still think he has enough time to get the ball up to the glass. And when LeBron flies in, it would have been a goaltend, or it would have been a close call. With J.R. Smith cutting him off, it forced Iguodala to adjust. Hustling LeBron came in from behind and pinned Iguodala's shot on the glass, preventing the go-ahead bucket with 150 remaining. So after that, lock. Neither team scored for a while. Then the Kyrie bucket happened. The Kyrie 3 over Steph happened. That's what I mean by the defense is what really saved them, because it gave them chances when they were cold to try to keep plugging in. Whereas the Warriors being at home, it's game 7, you're the defending champs and whatnot. They felt the pressure. You could see it in the game, and certain guys didn't step up. Just as simple as that. Looking back, obviously hindsight is 2020. Looking back, Klay Thompson probably should have got a lot of those shots that Steph got, because he was hot. Even Draymond, he was hot. Steph shot horrible during that game, and that's kind of when you got the criticism with him. It's like, man, you don't show up in the finals like you do every other round in the playoffs and in the regular season. And it's chosen. And obviously, him having to guard so many people, especially Kyrie Irving, that takes energy from you. And they're making a point to make him have to switch on, have to defend, which a lot of other teams, they had the personnel or they didn't really focus on doing. Brown finished the game with 27 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. He did have the best shooting night, 37% shooting from the field, 20% from 3. But as usual, he made a major impact in all aspects of the game. That's why he's the top 5 player all time. And that's why he's the greatest small forward of all time.
All right, so I'm gonna close this thing out. I like how this kind of gradually built. Everybody's points is building a building. So I'm gonna go back to the Golden State side of things. You're talking about the pressure hitting some folks. For those that know me, yeah, I'm a little petty at times, but this goes back to 2016. I'm sure we could pull something up. So here's some Barnes. I apologize, but you're about to catch another strike. It is what it is. Blame Cardell. He set this up. So Barnes played a big role in this series, just not for the betterment of his team. Cleveland was essentially able to play defense effectively on both Steph and Klay by not guarding him. And he struggled to make Cleveland pay for it, especially late in the series. So to get in the numbers just a little bit, so you really get just how much this hurt. He averaged 9 points in the finals, 4 rebounds, but he shot 25 of 71 from the floor. Cardell just talked about the Warriors, Shumpert hitting that 3. But from a scout standpoint, I want Shumpert shooting that shot.
Exactly.
And at the rate Golden State was cooking at, Cleveland, you're in DEFCON 5. It's survival. Look to Harrison Barnes like, you the odd man out. We can't let them light skins get going at all. Like one okay game from those guys, series is done. And like Cardell said, the defense was amazing, but the only reason that defense, they could get away with selling out the way that they did on defense, it's 25 of 71 from the floor, 9 of 29 from the beyond the arc. For your numbers, people, it's 35 from the floor and 31 from deep. Not only that, he was shot just 60% from the line. And in a 7-game series in which he started all 7 games, he took just 10 trips to the line total. Yeah. All right. So the reason I bring that up is Draymond Green's been under some attack lately, for going through this year without Steph and Klay. And, people are having fun and whatnot. But we're here just to be honest and hold people accountable. This series, what he did this series, man, look. So he only averaged 16, 10, and 6 in this series, but that doesn't begin to tell you what he did. Cardell, you talked about Bron's impact in the series for his team. Dre was everywhere. All right, so in Game 7, in this game, we talked about Steph and Klay. They didn't shoot the best. Between the two of them, they shot 31% and 35% respectively. Someone had to pick up the slack, and Draymond did that. In the first half, he had 21 points. He doesn't score 21 points. Cleveland pulls away that much sooner. All right? Like, he kept them afloat. So all the jokes, we're going to talk about this right here. All right? He knocked down 4 threes, but his aggressiveness offensively is what changed everything. Unlike Harrison, who was missing and just taking taking the bait that Cleveland was giving him. Harrison's an athletic guy. We hardly saw him put the ball on the floor when he's wide open and put pressure on Cleveland's defense. Draymond, on the other hand, even while he had the 3-ball going, he was still attacking off the bounce. And he got to the line a couple times. And once, by him just being aggressive, it makes you think like, all right, we got to pay enough attention to him to loosen up some of the shooters just a little bit, just by him being aggressive. The other thing he did was, we know with that small ball lineup, and you talked about Cardell with Cleveland switching on defense, Draymond did a great job of making them pay on the offensive boards. Anytime they switch, he had a little guy on him. He really hit the glass. It was countless times he had Kyrie, Mo Williams, or JR, Shump, whoever. That's food for Draymond on offensive glass. He's going to get there. Oh, man. So in Game 7, 32 points, 15 rebounds, 9 assists. Numbers, people, I'm sure you'll like this. 73 from the floor, 75 from beyond the arc. I'm going to say that again one more time for you. 73 from the floor, 75 from beyond the arc. Steph and Clay combined, the two of them, hit just 6 threes. Dre hit 6 of 8. He kept them alive. This game 7, they're not, it's a wrap for Sooner without his contributions. All right, so the team only had 22 assists. We know Golden State does a great job of moving the ball. Dre had 9 of the 22. Again, his imprints everywhere. I froze from a macro level, just looking at the finals as a whole. Even with the 1-game suspension again, Harrison is going to have to hold this spray. He played one less game than you. He led Golden State in rebounds with 62, assists with 38, and 10 steals. So as we conclude this debut of the Rundown series, hope you guys enjoyed with everybody, all of our thoughts from this series. And it's fun going back because as soon as I went back and looked, like I was cutting up the clips earlier, the first thing came to my mind, I was just incensed. I was like, Harrison. Like that was me this morning at 9 a.m. Like no lie. Like I was like,
because I honestly forgot it too. I seen it again. I was like, oh yeah, he was really bad this.
He stunk.
He hit one jumper,
and that's why he was out the next year.
Yo, Draymond said on the Joan, all the smoke. He said he called KD right after the game. So yeah, he said that. I was like, dang.
I mean, but like you got to think about it. 71 opportunities. 71, like. They were so stressed on defense. It was like, dude, like if you cook, it's a wrap. It is what it is. Like we're gonna lose, right?
You got sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we got a little bit of rapid fire before we close out. You're watching the Focus TV. Right, welcome back to the Focus TV. Cardell, see if we get a couple questions rapid fire in real quick. What you got for us, boss?
All right, The Last Dance has the sports world talking, and the Bad Boys came on Sunday, and their leader, kind of went on a campaign yesterday to justify what happened on Sunday 30 years ago. Isaiah Thomas said he was regretful, him and Bill Laimbeer defiantly walked off after they were swept in the 91 Eastern Conference Finals. His quote is, we were coming down, Michael Jordan was coming up, and in coming up, you have certain emotions, and then coming down as champions, you have certain emotions. Looking back over the years, and we had an opportunity to do it all over again, I think all of us would make a different decision. First of all, do you believe him? And second of all, do you think is blown out of proportion and the criticism he's getting again with the documentary? Well, they're getting again with the documentary.
I definitely think he's being honest. I definitely think, like we said earlier, hindsight's 20/20. Looking at it now and seeing the impact that it had after it happened, that he definitely probably would do something different. I wholeheartedly do believe that. I honestly think that a lot of times, it's frowned upon to not have good sportsmanship, but a lot of times when you play at such a high level, losing can really set you over the edge. Like anytime when you're a highly competitive person, losing can sometimes take you through the roof. Like trust me, I've seen, and I'm pretty sure you guys have done it yourself playing 2K or Madden or something. I done seen people go ridiculous when they lose games. So I think that a lot of times when that does happen, they're just in that moment and they're not thinking about that, which isn't an excuse. You should always have good sportsmanship, but unfortunately it happens. I'm sure it's happened at all levels of the game. I do believe he's regretful. I do think at this point, it's only being talked about because it's happening right now in the docuseries. But I hope they let this go again. I hope this doesn't start a whole nother big thing with the situation. It happened. They've apologized. I think they said the only one who said that he wouldn't change his mind was Laimbeer, but that's that's him. But I think for the most part, most of them probably would, just because of the stigma around it now. So I believe him.
Yeah, I think he's being honest, especially like you said, given the repercussions of it. And then when he also talked about how if that moment was the root cause of him not being selected to the dream team, then I think that that really did affect him. But I from the first time I ever went into this, I felt it was overblown. I mean, yeah, if you're in high school, you walk off and shake hands without shaking hands, that's something else. But I mean, in the pros, yes, it's in bad taste, but I don't think it should have reached the level. The criticism should have reached the level it did. I mean, what did you expect from the bad boys? They lost, they walked off. It is what it is. And I mean, it is interesting when he brings up how when they beat the Celtics that, the Celtics essentially did the same thing. It probably wasn't seen that way because of the differences in how the teams were viewed, which makes sense. That's a part of humans. Perception is reality. So if you're perceived as bad guys, and I mean, I don't think they had any problem with being perceived that way. When you do something like that, it's going to magnify it. So, I mean, yeah, all in all, I think it was too much made of it from jump. Yeah, I do believe Isaiah was being honest in his recollection of the incident. And yeah, like you said, Octavia, I hope this is not a topic of discussion for much longer.
I probably, out of all this, I just probably came away with even more respect for Bill Laimbeer just for sticking to his guns. Like you did what you did.
He was like, I did it.
You owned it. To me, you made the decision. It is what it is. Live with it. I don't really want to hear about the Celtics stuff, and I'm sure there's some truth with it, just because media is media, right? There's going to be some spin or something, but the bottom line is, y'all grown men. That's what you decided to do when y'all were beating the Bulls' faces in. You had no problem shaking hands with them then. So I just don't care about the words. They mean nothing to me because you enjoyed their defeat and shaking them and being close with them when the outcome was the one that you liked. That's part of it too. Like the Bulls can sit there and go through it. Y'all beat on it for 6 years, 6 years, 4 years, whatever, however many years in a row. Just beat on them, right? The bane of their existence. They shook hands with you every time. So I don't care about all the colorful words, all the nice things, perception, yada, yada, yada. I'm kind of with how Mike felt about it. We, in the little scene that essentially became a new meme with him looking at the iPad. But yeah, you were fine with it when you won. So we're gonna question it, own up to it when you lost. Y'all grown. It was your decision. You did what you did.
For me, it's a lot of layers. I had kids. I think Raymond, you're the only one that got kids, right? Mm-hmm. Other than me, right? All right, so I'm gonna talk to you on this. If your kids ran with other kids and robbed the liquor store, and then you obviously gonna catch up to them, and you be like, "What would you think?" My friends did it. That ain't gonna slide with you. You don't want to put hands on them, just like I would. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's how I feel about him bringing up the Celtics doing the same thing. No one cares, bro. Right, wrong is it doesn't change that you're wrong in the situation. It's about paying respect, and that's something I think we getting too far away from these days, where everybody, is doing when he's talking about how he's trying to justify not giving respect, but at the same time asking for that the league ain't respect us. They just wanted the Lakers and the Celtics to go right into the mic here and all that. It's like if you want it, you got to give it. And I think too many people are getting too far away where it's like they want it, but they can choose when to give it. And that's just not reality. I done lost plenty of tough games, especially going back to college and all that. I always shook the opponents' hand more. So I was looking at us. Like, if we lost, what the hell we did wrong? Because if we did what we were supposed to do, we would have won the game. And so it's not nothing to take out on them, especially if the Bulls shook hands. The Bulls did it, and I'm all for that. I'm cool. Then, hey, payback's a mother. You know what I'm saying? But the Pistons also got to understand, the league ain't like y'all. Y'all effed up a lot of their play. Y'all effed up everybody. I mean, nobody likes y'all. the only person on that team that they liked was Joe Dumars. They're like, let's call it what it is. And y'all effed up the Bulls the most. Because they had, it's more, y'all in the same division. I'm playing 6 times a year. Isaiah's the man. He's from Chicago. Bill Laimbeer is from Illinois. It's a lot of layers to that. So it just got vicious. So my thing is, I get what you're saying, Isaiah, man. All due respect, man. Hall of Fame and all that, but no, come on, man. Like you say, I respect Laimbeer the most out of that. He just and look, man. To this day, he like, I don't like Jordan, I don't like them. It is what it is, and I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But hold on, question: did he shake Tabor in them hand when the Missy's got him up out of there? Or am I being petty right now?
I think you're being petty, but that'd be fun to find out this week.
Yeah, I just want to. Yeah, I'm just trying to check. So to make sure, is it consistent or is it just for?
I think it was just for Mike. I feel like he shook hands with Tabor, but yeah.
I feel like you probably did too.
I think that was specifically for a certain
we should
person.
probably figure that out.
So that's all I want to know, man. Like, man, you made your bid. Y'all was wrong, man. You knew what you were doing. Own that. Just look. We made a mistake. Whatever. It is what it is. And keep it moving. You ain't get on the dream team because the league ain't like you. And you obviously the players not gonna vouch for you, but you sucking them up. Like, let's be for real. So what do you expect? Stop trying to make it you walking off is the main thing. Y'all fuck up everybody. Come on, man. So we're gonna keep this moving. Another one. You know, we have Jalen Green, Isaiah Todd. They signed on a plane in the G League minor league program where high school players can jump straight to the G League. We have another one. Deshaun Nix out of Las Vegas, Trinity International School, 6'4" point guard. He is joining. He will be making $300,000 in that range, and he decommitted. He obviously joined them after signing with UCLA in the fall over Kentucky, Maryland, Alabama, Kansas. Just what are your thoughts? It seems like this is picking up a lot of traction with high schoolers to jump into the G League program, develop, and trying to target the league, man. And it's a reality. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Like I feel like if they feel like they can do it, do it. Like we talked about last time, like the NCAA gonna have to do something because, like you said, it's catching on real fast, and a lot of players are able to see like, hey, this is what I can do. And we always go back to like if they feel like they're in that time period of when they have their highest potential as far as like draft stock or whatever they see. You got to maximize on it at this point in time. You know, the NBA looks at everything as a business. The NCAA is looking at everything as a business. They need to look at themselves as a business. You know, they need to take and maximize their opportunities as they can. If anybody feels like if they're good enough to go straight from straight from high school to the G League, and the G League team is going to have to be responsible for making that determination. So again, like we said in the past, it goes back on scouts. Are they really doing their job? Are they finding the real players that are supposed to be able to do this and not just people that are going to eventually not even turn out to be anything great or anything remotely that the NBA will be looking into to have in the league. But I think if they like it, I love it. Do what you got to do. That's how I look at it at this point. Like if it's going to be a better situation for you and your family, you feel like you are dedicated and you have the mindset, you have the right people around you to do it, then do it. I feel like that's just where where it can kind of go left. It just depends on if that person is really actually really ready for that situation. So.
Before y'all go, to give out more information with this, every high school player can make this league. It's a committee with Sharif Abdul-Rahim, who's in charge of the G League, and Rod Strickland, guys like that. And they invite a select few with the option to have that. And that means you got to be elite, like top 25, top 30 in your senior class to make that, and at least 18. And what comes with the payment is obviously they pay for your college as well. So you can get your education while developing and playing games. And games are not just in G League competition, and they're against international competition throughout the year. So they kind of get a taste of everything. So they only contacting guys that they know that their scouts and all the information are on the fast track to the NBA. Everybody can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's only for a select few. So if the point guard for my high school for the high school want to go, they're not even.
Sorry.
Okay, the scholarship. That's just how I go. Y'all can go ahead, Ronnie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when they first started talking about the rollout of this, I thought it was a good idea, especially because they focus on it being more of a transition program as opposed to just them going from senior high school to full-fledged professional. I think it's a good way for people to kind of get their footing, get used to that life before they're engulfed in it. As far as the NCAA goes, I mean it's just not enough jobs available to really make an impact on that end. I mean people always want to be playing college basketball. It'll take some type of monumental shift or something drastic to really put a dent in that, and it'll take a long time. But it's nice to have another option. Eventually, one and done is going to not one and done, but the ability to go straight to the league from high school is going to return. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But this pathway initiative, I think it's a good thing. They got some good people at the head of that. I'm anxious to see how it'll improve the learning curve for these top picks. Whether a year of college will be better or worse than this new opportunity. I can only imagine it will help because you're getting pretty much professional experience, professional grooming, as opposed to just playing in college when you're probably better than everybody else anyway. So yeah, I wish those guys the best of luck. I think anybody that's invited to this should take a serious look at it, and we'll just see what happens.
And just it's never mentioned, but Mitchell Robinson and Darius Baisley, they sat out a whole year and just worked out, and they were still drafted. And they're thriving in the league as young players. So, and that was without the hands-on training and stuff like that. I mean, they were training, but not like G League competition and really bumping and stuff like that. So, I can't see why it don't, unless kids is very immature and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. But go ahead with Congress.
Yeah, I was just saying I love that you brought up the criteria so everybody doesn't think it's available for everybody. Like you said, it's for those that are elite. They got good people that are the gatekeepers for this. Just because there's so many people spreading misinformation that don't know enough. But yeah, man, for those that are fortunate enough or elite enough to be able to make that decision, explore every opportunity that's available to you. I'm never gonna knock that for you. If you put the work you've put you in a position to give you several more options than other folks. So I wish all of them the best with it, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay, got to get this question out. This guy shows that he went against the G League and he signed with Shaka Smart in Texas. Greg Brown, super ridiculous athletic forward, 6'9" forward. Chose his home state, Texas, over the G League option. He has the potential to be a top 5 pick next year. If he does what he's supposed to do. Obviously, Shaka Smart doesn't get enough credit for all the players he's developed over the years. Even as going all the way back as an assistant, with the Florida days and all that. He's of course with DCU and look at the base he's developed from projects since he's been at Texas to becoming first round picks. Hayes and New Orleans, and Obama was highly ranked, but still with him. So he has a great track record developing players. What are your thoughts on him? I'm just gonna go to college and see what I can do there, and then test the league draft waters, next season. And do you think the pandemic played a role in that? He just committed to Texas a couple last week.
I think again it's just a player trying to figure out what's best for them in their game. I wholeheartly I think that a lot of them just have aspirations to do it the way it's always been done. Whether you go from college straight to you go from high school to college to the league. I feel like some of them are like that, but then again, I really think that it's the players just stepping back and thinking about what's best for them in their own situation. If he feels like he wants that college experience, because a lot of kids kind of just want a college experience too. You know, a lot of them want to be able to go through the whole college day experience and the college day, game days and stuff like that. Like, I feel like that's a lot. It's overlooked a lot too. Like, of course, all the players want to go to the NBA, but a lot of them like that college feel, like that big man on campus. Maybe they want that big man on campus feeling for a little while. Or maybe they do still, you know, innately feel like that there are things within their game that they feel like they need to address first, and maybe they feel like college will help them with it. So again, I think it's very important, and I think it's great that these players are taking the time to analyze what they feel like is best for their specific career, and not taking what this player did and what that player did and how they did it, like doing what they need to do for themselves to develop their game going forward to get to where they want to be. So if he feels like that, that's where he feels like he will develop the best. And I mean, I think it's a great idea for him too. I like both ideas because I think it's great for different players. There are players who feel like they need the money now and they need to be able to provide for their families, and college will do that for them. And then there are players that maybe they have a good home life. They have, you know, a two-parent household. They don't have to worry about not having food on their table. Their parents have good jobs or whatever you want to say. And maybe their parents stressing them that you need your education. You know, maybe they feel like I got to go this way. Like, I always knew, like, after high school, I had to go to college. You know, like, that's just something that was instilled with me throughout my growing up. My parents were like, what do you mean you're not going to? It was no way I would be like, I'm not going to college. My parents were like, yeah, all right. But I just think that it's great that everybody's doing what they feel like is best for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, whether a kid decides one way or another, like I'm never gonna impose my own personal feelings on another person's monumental life decision. So I mean, if that's what he wants to do, you know, experience college, like Octavia said, and you know, go through that whole thing, have the opportunity to play in March Madness, which, you know, is probably every basketball player's dream at some point. You know, go ahead and experience that. I mean, he's going to be wanting it done. I mean, so it's not like the league is going to be there. I mean, so yeah, go ahead, get that experience, and you know, and just to be clear, the college experience of one of the best basketball players in the country is way different than a typical college experience. So
yeah, college, yeah.
Yep.
So
they want that limelight. Tell you.
Yeah, I got no problem with it. I mean, people can have a conversation about all the extracurricular stuff, and you know, and demonize the NCAA or what have you. But I mean, whatever. That's neither here nor there at this point. He made his decision, committed, and I really do want to see what he does with Shaka Smart. I mean, like you said, Cardell Shaka has had recently Mo Bamba, Jackson Hayes, and his name is escaping right now. The guy that plays for Brooklyn.
Jared Allen.
Travion.
No,
Easier.
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen,
Hey man, yeah. But I think Greg Brown has potential to be better than all of them. He gets something that none of them have, which is a bona fide scorer. And you know, and just for him coming in there, it's changed the whole perception of Texas in the Big 12 already. Like they're being talked about as winning the conference. So, you know, I want to see you know, it's going to be nice to see what he does at the collegiate level.
It just feels like for all these kids, they're self-aware, and with that awareness comes making different decisions. The other thing, Cardell, I love that you brought up the pandemic. I think it's impossible if you're self-aware for that to not be factored into your decision, right? Because say you do try to go pro and everything's on pause, like we've been talking about with the draft. This draft process is going to look like none like. This is not a typical year, right? So not only would it be safe, but it's almost smart, right? If you're confident what you bring to the table, let all these people go through this uncertain time. You go to school, handle your business, get sharp underneath the program that Shaka's in charge of at the moment, right? And you come out on the other side of this sharper. And then maybe things are a little bit closer to normal. And you continue on your trip up to the league.
Good point.
I mean, if he could go straight out of high school, the kid, talent is unreal, man. He has all the physical tools. Maybe he needs to mature. You know, I be trying to tell people when I get texts from coaches, and especially like, hey, you coach every year, all throughout the season. And, you know, the projected one and done. You know, just man, they're not that good, man. Why are they struggling? Like, bro, they 18, bro. Like, dog, they're gonna struggle. They're playing against really grown men. You know, dudes that got it figured out, got the college game figured out. They're bigger, they're stronger, and honestly, they got pride. They ain't trying to let this 18-year-old bust them. And they got pro aspirations too, you know what I'm saying? So they read the articles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no basketball player alive that has ever walked this earth has done that, man. So just relax, you know, let them develop. Now, if he comes in and put the work in and develop, I mean, it's no reason why he can't be in that lottery range, top 10, top 5 range. He's just way too talented, man. The problem with him is he got to figure out and with Shaka what he's going to be. Is he going to be on the wing full time? Or is he going to be more of a four where he's using his athleticism to be kind of like an Aaron Gordon type, which you starting to see with him in Orlando. He's on a kind of the verge of the all-star level. You know, he got one more level to get to. Then you know, improve a little thing, and especially getting no magic in the playoffs. And then I think he'll be an all-star, you know, perennial all-star, because he's right there. He's knocking on the door. And I can see him being there because Aaron Gordon was a sick athlete when he came out the same way, 6'9" and all that. And with the Arizona play the 4 or whatnot, they have to figure that out. Because in high school, you could tell watching him, he was fresh trying to prove he's something that at that point he wasn't right now. Like, don't try to be Kawhi or nothing right now if you don't really have that game, man. Dominate doing what you do. And then over time next year, you can add, over the summer, you can add the Kawhi elements to improve. You can do that. And then you might get drafted as a wing and stuff like that. So I think that's just something I can't wait to see with him and Shaka, how he develops him. And the thing about Texas, they're bringing everybody back from next year, like nobody back. So with him and pretty much an upperclassman type team and all that, in the Big 12, he's gonna be pushed. He's gonna be forced to get back because they're gonna be gunning trying to get Texas up there with Kansas as far as trying to take over the Big 12. So I think it would just be great for him, man. And obviously that he's from Texas, so he's gonna be the hometown kid. They're gonna have a rock in the way with his athletic style, man. They're gonna be must see TV, man. So I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. Last question. We're gonna touch on Seahawks. David Clowney. They didn't extend his $16.5 million free agency offer. It's believed that Clowney's asking for $20 million. And obviously with the pandemic and with a lot of things going on in the NFL, no team has really, and him being injury prone, they haven't really been able to check him out, obviously, with the situation. They have not really commit that. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on the Seahawks not really committing that money and keeping him, which he was a big piece for them, man, and having the type of season that they had. And if you were a GM, once everything kind of gets back to normal, you can check out the season healthy or whatnot, would you be willing to pay that type of money to get him?
I do remember when they started talking about this that he was initially asking for about 20 mil. And at one point he was willing to go down to, I believe, 17 mil. But I think it's a smart business move as far as the Seahawks franchise. The Seahawks can produce defensive players. Like, I'm sure they have somebody coming up the pipeline somewhere that they've been holding on to, that's been working hard, that they feel like is going to be good. I feel like they never really struggle on defense. And with his injury situations, I think it's a serious concern. And who knows what with everything going on, who knows what he's doing? You know, somebody can tell you, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But it's a show and prove type of league. Like, I need to see that. And there's not a lot that they can go off of right now. So if the things start to change and you're able to see it, I would be willing to revisit the conversation. But as a franchise, a GM of that franchise, I think he's on. I wouldn't do it either. You know, like, I'm like, maybe we can settle on something else temporary until we know for sure what's going on. But it's a business, and I got to make the best business move for my team. And I would think that holding off in this situation with everything that's going on, everything being so uncertain, I think it's a good idea.
I mean, I'm not mad at him for trying to get money, and I'm not mad at them for sitting on their hands. You know, like these are unusual times, and you know you got to operate as such. So, and I don't think he's really in a position to play hardball, so to speak. I mean, he can try, but you know, I think the Seahawks are going to hold fast on this. You know, bring it, especially with health being an issue. Like the best ability is availability, and so you know if you have problems with that, then you know why would they extend that much to commit to him for that substantial amount? And I mean, if he was willing at some point to accept 17, then you know I feel like if they really were in a situation where they felt like they needed to keep him, they would negotiate and try to meet somewhere in the middle. But I kind of trust Pete Carroll in this, and you know I feel like if they're not making a valiant effort to kind of concede in some way, then you know they've already made a decision.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest. No one's giving what's about to happen. And then the availability, as you guys mentioned already. Secondly, this is something that Seattle does. They drafted 2 defensive ends in the draft. They took Darrell Henderson and one of the guys from Syracuse. I think it's Orton Robinson.
Yeah.
And from body type wise, they're not too much different than what he is. And this is the thing. This is the gamble. Yeah, they may not be you right now, but if between the two of them, right? And if they get 4 sacks amongst the two of them, no disrespect and that's $22 million less that I'm paying, right? Secondly, if they both paying out just a little bit, I got 2 of them paying them not remotely close to $22 million. And this is, I think we're getting to the part of Russell's career where, not to say he's falling off in the least bit, you've been able to skate by so far without surrounding this dude with the type of talent that he should have around him. Nah, dude, I'm sorry. If it comes at the expense of you, it's an easy decision. Like, it's a very easy decision. Like, these are tough decisions that good teams make. And the other thing with Clowney is, like, we've still never really gotten that consistent production from you in your career. Like, you're still one of those guys where, like, it's all potential. And everybody's like, oh, man, maybe. But for that potential, that price comes down because there's not legitimate production there. And again, 3 sacks, sir. I hate to be that person, but 3 sacks in that division. No. There's defensive tackles in that division who had more sacks.
I play more games too.
Yeah, it's like there's a whole Chandler. So like that's the thing. Just from a business standpoint, if you're Seattle, you look over at Chandler Jones. Lord knows that boy. He does what he does consistently year in year out. Then you look over here.
I mean,
you can't ask for that money.
I mean, bro, we can look on your team. I mean, like those guys are better pass rushers right now. Rookie, y'all rookie. You know what I'm saying? You're not even the best in your division. So why you asking for like $20 million a year? That's for Aaron Donald, people like that.
And Aaron Donald's in the division. Aaron Donald's in the division. If there were like, you literally got that right there looking at it. And then we look at you. Look at him.
Bro.
Bring the price down a little bit more, man.
Being real.
Yeah,
man. You gotta be real, dog.
He got self-reflect. Maybe he's self-reflecting during this pandemic.
Your agent ain't doing you no favor.
And that's the thing. If I feel like from a business standpoint, if your agent was smart, go get on a contender, take $9-10 million a year for 1 year, ball out, and get that bread the following year. You're young. Like a 1 year deal is not going to hurt you. You're not 37, 33, 32. You're like 27.
And this team, plenty of teams that can use the talented pass rusher.
And I think what's honestly about to happen, Seattle, you're gonna end up right back in Seattle for the low.
Exactly.
Doing all this talking for nothing.
Because everything you're doing, like Arizona's not about to take you.
Nope.
The Rams can't afford anybody. The Niners aren't about to take you. So
Yeah,
what are you doing? Then even look outside some of these other divisions. Like this is the sad part right now. Dude, you coming off a 3-sack year.
Yeah.
You can't even say the words.
You can't make any
now.
demands. You can't make demands. I'm just keeping that up, man. That's like you averaging 80 points. And it's like, yo, Tay, I need that max deal. I need that John Walker and Bill money. What?
And the average of 80 points.
And the sad part,
called security.
hey, sad part, I think 2 of the 3.
I'm like, you play for the team?
2 of the 3 sacks came in one game.
Hey, man, look, like I said, I ain't mad at him for trying, but
a losing battle, bro.
Yeah, like,
and in the NFL, that don't like to pay nobody.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you really can't come.
And it sounds like he has about 20 mil guarantee. No, guarantee.
Man, they gave D4 20-something a year, and it's monopoly money. They not about to give you that. D4 got a monopoly
like
money.
16 sacks or something. I get it. You wouldn't even have it. They'd have been like, here's a blank check.
Dude, you would have got to like week 7. They would have been like, hey, your age would have been like, so you got a 4-year extension.
Yes.
Easy money.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like I said, it's not an indictment on the talent, man, but that's one of those things, being self-aware. And consistency matters, especially in a league that doesn't pay people.
Yeah.
They just flat out don't pay people.
Contracts written on toilet paper.
Yeah. and depending on how nice your agent is,
Flushed at any moment.
Depending on how nice your agent is, it disappears quick. So, yeah, that's funny. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in, as always. Fighter Focus TV on social. Please do that. Head over to fightersback.com. I'm on sports.com. We'll see you guys next week. And I hope you guys enjoyed the Rundown series. Hit us on Twitter. Let us know what you think about it. We'll see you guys soon.